Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Essential Wrestling Podcast. Real quick before we get started, as you can see, conspicuous by his absence on this week's episode, unfortunately, John Smith is not with us this week. Unfortunately, he did not take the news of Ever Rise being released all that well. So I sent him on assignment. Actually, I found the party for him to go to. As we all know, it is Pride Month this month. I did find an LGBTQ party for him to attend to. The funny thing is, he doesn't know what those letters mean. I told him they stands for liquor, guns, beers, tits, and quaaludes. So he is in for a big surprise when he gets to his party this week. And he will be reporting back to us next week. I thought it was funnier in my head. I don't know why you guys aren't laughing. I thought it was funny. I was actually going to take one for the team and use that joke by myself and be like, boy, was my face red. But, John decided he can't show up to work this week. He's going to be the brunt of the joke. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 60. Look at us, boys. Episode 60 of the Essential Wrestling Podcast, powered, as always, and I keep on forgetting this, President Joe McMahon, I apologize, powered, as always, by the Eastern Observer. Oh, yeah, you can taste the power, boys. You can taste the power. Back for week number 60. I'm back. I'm unfortunately back in my home studio. Not that I do not love this place. I sincerely do, but the playoff beard is gone. Unfortunately, Game 7, just one little hiccup, and it's processed everything. But proud to be those boys. Proud to be in that arena, my lovely remote island location on parts unknown. But I am back. I am now 100% in wrestling mode until my wedding reception. But for now, I'm in 100% wrestling mode. Joining us, as always, on the bottom part of our screen, the first ever PWP champion, the living legend, John DeConnie. John, how are things today, my friend? It is a hot one outside here in Jersey today.
Yeah, Jersey, not a happy place to be today. It is hot. It is sticky. Shout out to our Cal Ripken. The streak is finally broken. I hope John, wherever he is today, is having a good day. But and unlike Cal Ripken, he hasn't spent the last 2 seasons hurting the team here. Full-time contributor. We'll miss him terribly.
Yeah, this is the first time John Smith is with. I think you guys came on. It was like episode 7. You guys came on full time, and he's gone. My math is 50. That's over a year straight for John Smith. Filling in, as always, a regular to the show. It's not like Ryan's gonna have any problem filling in for John Smith. Big shoes to fill, but apparently, new member of the Dark Order, number 59 from minutestobelltime.com, Ryan Joy. Ryan, how are things today?
Join us. I don't have the mask right here. I should have thrown that back on, but everything is good. Everything is good. John actually went exactly 52 based on my math episodes. So
that's 1
year,
right?
That's 1 year.
All right, so John, we hope you do proud. We hope you, when you watch this replay, you take my joke funny as always, and we will see you next week on today's episode. Drew McIntyre qualified for the Money in the Bank ladder match last night on Raw, but without the most valiant effort from Riddle. BFF of the year, that's Bro Friend Forever. Of course, that stands for Matt Riddle. Threw his name in the hat for that one. Diamond Mine makes their long-awaited debut on NXT. We have a big 6-man main event between Team Callis and Team Dreamer this week on Impact. Gary Mehaffy is with us, as always, across overseas to discuss NXT UK and that hard-hitting triple threat match last week. Ryan joins on screen right now. We don't have an in the report now this week, right? I just said there was not going on. We'll take care of that next week, the Ring of Honor show. Perfect. Cross that one off. There we go. We make our picks for this week's upcoming shows. All show long, all year long, is for the longest time now. All of our graphics and statistics are presented by Ryan Joy and from minutestobelltime.com. Ryan, thank you for always doing that for us. And as always, when we make our picks are sponsored by ProWrestlingPick'em.com. Play against your friends. Play against the universe. And guys, she'll like it too. We're going to main event the show with Edge returning to challenge the head of the table. Edge came back last Friday on SmackDown, but we are going to curtain jerk the show with the huge AEW World Championship match from this past Saturday night. Jungle Boy challenging Kenny Omega. Ryan, as our senior AEW correspondent, your title was on the line. Your guy was being Kenny Omega.
And Kenny Omega retained in the end, but it was interesting. Paul Turner, he had the duties, he had the responsibility of officiating the match. He immediately gets rid of all the outside interference. He gets rid of the Good Brothers. He gets rid of Luchasaurus. He gets rid of Marco Stunt. He got rid of everybody. And in the end, it was a Tiger Driver 98. It was a one-winged angel. It was a clean victory. Not very many of those in Kenny Omega's run here as Impact, AAA, AEW World Champion, TNA World Champion as well. Not many clean victories, but he got one off on Jungle Boy. Good match for Jungle Boy. Interested to see where he goes next. I know he went to the parking lot immediately after, but after that, we'll be interested to know where he goes next.
I know where that right hand next week. He had a jungle grip on that thing. Oh, my God.
There are no losers.
Boy, he lost the trophy, but he gained, I guess, a beautiful girlfriend. He's not gonna call her a trophy. That's not fair. But there you go. Anna Jay joined the Dark Order. John DeConnie, great main event. We had a great opening match as well. Powerhouse Hobbs going against the Hangman.
Yeah, we started off. Taz joined commentary. JR kicked off the night asking the crowd, were they ready for some cowboy shiznits? And I almost fell out of my chair laughing. So Hangman gets shot into the buckle and those stupid non-rounded ring posts. He catches himself on the crowd. I don't think he was going for color. He busted himself open legit, but luckily it was far enough back on his head. It didn't affect. He didn't wear the crimson mask. It didn't affect his eyes or anything throughout the match. So they had a really good, crisp 11-minute match. Powerhouse Hobbs with the power moves. Hangman Page doing what Hangman Page does. And in the end, Starks came out, tried to toss in the FTW belt. Didn't quite get all the way to the ring because Cage came out looking for his property.
Yeah, right.
Starks right out of his shirt and then chased him to the back. So Team Taz still a complete mess. And in the end, it would be Hangman Page, with the Deadeye pile driver, that backpack pile driver that looks so nasty, and a 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, well, Starks, he just stole his belt. That's not his. If I was Cage, I'd be pissed. Yeah, but Taz was not happy on comment. Taz is never happy. Let's call a spade a spade here. But he's just not excited at all with how things are going in Team Taz. And he said it blatantly. It's like, yeah, Cage is in trouble. Starks is in trouble too. Like, I don't think Starks is getting away on this either. Fun appearance by Conan. I guess we've seen Conan on AEW, but never in a Dynamite ring. So we saw Conan come out, a little LAX. That was, I forgot to do the sign back in Impact days. Conan used to manage Santana Ortiz, a 5150, the LAX. He came out, got right in Tully's face because FTR and Santana Ortiz, they got their Pinnacle Inner Circle feud going. Conan had some fun words, telling Tully Blanchard he better learn how to speak Spanish. Well, that was a little low, but that was funny. Okay, it's fair is fair, But it turned out, here comes Santana Ortiz, was really FTR. Santana Ortiz was jumped in the back, and they gave Conan a strike pile driver. So to be continued that, again, we're going to have a lot of, there's always just Inner Circle Pinnacle. We'll get to them in a second. Vicky Guerrero and Andrade, they had a huge announcement to make, but then they were interrupted by Matt Seidel's entrance. Okay, so he said last week, right, or 2 weeks ago, that there was an announcement, and that's going to be made soon. And then now it's interrupted. This is going to be an ongoing thing, Ryan Joy, where every time he's about to spill the beans, the can gets closed.
Well, I think it just sets up the big first match against Matt Seidel. But yeah, I think we're going to be stringing along here for this big announcement for a while. I don't think they may have to wait 90 days or something like that. I don't know what the situation is, but I think we're going to be waiting a minute on this.
Yeah, John DeConnie, I have a funny feeling that every time Andrade is going to be, or Vicky, one of the two, okay, here's our big announcement. So Matt Sydal defeated Dante Martin with a lightning spiral. It's going to be like that forever. So it's whatever.
Exactly.
Dante
like
Martin. I'm sorry. What was that? You kind of got muffled.
It's like when Sting tried to do, like the first 8 times Sting tried to talk, he got cut off every time.
Okay. I guess Ryan, I guess you heard that too. John DeConni's got a little robot voice there, so let's hopefully your microphone.
We call that Cyloning in the biz, Al. That's Cyloning.
Yeah. Matt Sydal defeated Dante Martin with the lightning spiral. Listen, my opinion right here, when Dante Martin throws his brother through the barbershop glass window and goes singles, he needs to use that flipping stunner that he did in that match. Like that, it was the craziest stunner I've ever seen. He's got to use that as his finisher. So Dante Martin, he's 20 years old. He's just found his finisher for the rest of his life. It was wrestlers go another 20 years from now, so he's good. Brian, Ethan Page, Bear Bronson. Are you near Bear North? You're not near Bear Mountain, New York, right now, right? That's more on the eastern side of
Bear Mountain's. Bear Mountain's a little south of here. That's close by where my wife grew up, though.
Oh.
So yeah, Bear Bronson and Bear Boulder was back too to corner him. So that was nice to see Bear Country all together. But I think the big story here is that Ethan Page hit the Ego's Edge on a bear. Who would have thought he could hit it on a bear?
I know, right? And I was like, how's he gonna get him up? And then you see you going up to the Vader bomb. I'm like, well, that's how you get him up. Like he gets himself up.
He still had to get him over.
He had him up there for a while too. So yeah, so Ethan Page ain't no slouch in the gym. I'm sure Karate Man had him training hard when they were back in Impact together. So they were going good. So, but apparently at the end of that match, I guess Ethan Page challenged Darby Allin to a casket match. We will get into that next week when they Riverside Rampage. Ryan Joy, what's it called?
It's a Road Rager, and it's
a
coffin match.
Coffin match. What did I say? Casket match. I tried it. Copyright. That's 10 push-ups for me, right? My bad. Mm-hmm. John DeConnie, the women were in action. Our resident favorite alien, Chris Statlander, she went on with the bunny. Before we get into the analysis of this match, John DeConnie, with what? Actually, you know what? That's not the joke for this alien. It's the other alien in the UK. Never mind. Continue. There's a new alien, and I had a joke for it. It's not on Statlander, so never mind.
So we have Statlander and Bunny has been very entertaining the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, you can't hear yourself. You're having microphone issues. That's okay.
You might want to take a break and come back.
Punch out and come back.
All right, yeah, we can do that. Why not? Hey, that's when we have live TV. Hey, we're live right now. Where's our buddy? Why am I bricking on his name? Wheeler. Where's James Wheeler?
I don't know.
Anyway. Brian, you got anything? Chris Statlander got the win on the bunny. Where do you see Chris Statlander going the next couple weeks? Is he going to be in line for a title shot?
Yeah, big Bang Theory for the win there, and I think so. I don't think she's next. You got Britt Baker obviously she's got Nyla Rose at Fyter Fest 2. Thunder Rosa's there. She's making her case, and then Chris Statlander is going to be down the road though. She'll get a title shot. Maybe Chris Statlander will be the next champion because
yeah,
Sheeta could come back for another round too, but Baker's gonna have a long title run. But I think Chris Statlander is gonna be in her way at some point.
Okay, well, speaking of the Good Doctor, that's gonna be the first match we're picking today, Ryan. To set up for their championship match at night 2 of Fyter Fest in a couple of weeks from now, Britt Baker is going to be teaming with Rebel, not Reba, not Rebel.
Yes, Rebel is her name. Reba
Rebel, but it's not her name. Gotcha. They're going to be going against Nyla Rose, and Vicky Guerrero's going to be stepping in between the ropes. How about that, right?
Yeah, I think Vicky Guerrero's not going to do a lot of work here, but I think Rebel will be taking the pin. In my opinion, I think that Nyla Rose and Vicky Guerrero are going to get a win here.
I think this is a perfect time to showcase Nyla, just because she hasn't really been on TV. Last time I think we saw her on TV, she was throwing cheeseburgers in a celebration. So I don't think we forget how dominant she can be. I think this is a way for her to do that against Reba, not as much Britt. But right. You're exactly right. This is to get Nyla built up just for her to take the L at Fyter Fest, because they're not taking the belt off of Britt when they're going to Britsburg in about a month.
No. And on Dark, Brian Cage and Nyla Rose have about the same style match, about 35 seconds, and that's about it.
All right, so Ryan, I know one of our favorite matches here on the Essential Wrestling Podcast, more so Travis's and John DeConnie's. We have a tag team championship eliminator tournament. It's an eliminator match where if Penta and his best friend Eddie Kingston, if they don't get the job done here, they are never allowed to challenge for the AEW Tag Team Championship. So this is non-title. If Kingston and Penta get the win, they get a title match. Who do you got in this one, Rye?
Well, what's fun about this is that Eddie Kingston will just go find another partner.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
The Young Bucks have defeated Eddie Kingston in tag team title matches, but not the team of Eddie Kingston and Pentagon or Penta El Zero Miedo. I think this is the Young Bucks. They're going to win this match. I guess Pentagon probably take the pin or whatever, or it'll be cheap. But I don't think that they're going to. I don't know. I don't feel like they're going to lose a tag team eliminator match. I think they'll lose a tag team title match when it comes time for them to lose. But both teams.
I feel like that. But nobody's won an eliminator match yet, correct?
Right. Nobody's won.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, like, maybe this would be a good time to do it. But then you're taking where records matter. You're going to take that 0 away from the Bucks that you just alluded to. So, yeah. I'm going to go with the Bucks on this one. We have a TNT championship match with God's favorite champion, Miro.
Such a great gimmick for him. I love that.
That is the most amazing thing I've ever heard. Miro 8-0. He's going to be going against poor Brian Pillman Jr. How did Miro phrase it? The bravest thing that he ever done was think about beating up Miro, and the dumbest thing he ever did was try to do it. So very well done. Another amazing promo by God's favorite champion. Any shot for Pillman here? No.
I can't think of a single scenario. He might get a couple of offensive moves in, but I'm sorry, Brian Pillman, this is not your night.
No, Miro's in that category too. I don't know who's going to beat him. I honestly don't. It's going to be shocking whenever it does. As I mentioned earlier, Pinnacle and Inner Circle, they got into it in the Conan segment. They got into it again. Pinnacle was doing a backstage interview, and then here comes the Bleep Show. Speaking of the Bleep Show, John DeConnie. Let's see if John DeConnie's volume is back up and running. John DeConnie, how are you today? You back?
How do we sound now?
There we go. Gotcha. All right. We lost one, John, today. We can't lose two. Glad to see. You pulled the Willis Reed right there. You went out injured, but you came out to finish the show. We got one last match we're talking about here, John DeConnie. Like I said, Pinnacle was doing their backstage interview. They got jumped again by the Inner Circle. A Bleep Show ensues, all leading up to this Wednesday night. We're back on Wednesday nights. All right, basketball. Yay. We're back on Wednesday nights right now. Where it's going to be MJF and Sammy Guevara. Ryan, after you put this on the graphic right there, the war continues. I couldn't have put it better myself. John DeConnie, who do you got?
Give me Sammy in this early one. I'm sure this won't be the last time we see these two tangle, but I think Sammy kind of MJF doesn't need to win because he can talk. Sammy, not so much with the talking just yet, so let him get it done in the ring.
All right, now, if I just saw that, he hasn't had a singles match this year, right? Now his record, Ryan, was one of his biggest character things. He was undefeated for so long. He's got two losses in his career, both to Moxley, right?
It's one match, and it's to Moxley in his AEW career. He had a bunch of other losses outside of AEW last year, but he had one.
They don't count.
Yeah, not in AEW standings for sure, But yeah, so I think John's right in the sense that Sammy Guevara needs this win more than MJF, and I honestly thought this should be the destination for the whole Inner Circle Pinnacle feud. I thought this should have been the end game. Now it seems like end game might be MJF and Chris Jericho and All Out. I think MJF's going to take this win, and it's going to be a cheap win. It'll be Wardlow giving him the Dynamite Diamond ring, and they'll get a punch in that way, and he'll steal the win. Maybe bloody Sammy up, but this feud to me is more interesting because Sammy has been all over MJF ever since MJF was trying to get into the Inner Circle.
Yeah,
and this has been the rivalry the whole time, more so than the Jericho MJF thing. But it doesn't look like that's where this will end, at least like right now. But maybe it'll be a series. But I'm picking MJF.
Yeah, it seems like everyone's broken off right now, with the exception of Jericho, because he's still in a sling, right? Does anyone know what's his timetable on return? Anyone know what his timetable is?
I don't know, but
haven't heard a word.
Not good for a Fujiwara armbar, though.
No. That guy doesn't have to wrestle Deonna Purrazzo.
Well, that's the salt of the earth is a Fujiwara armbar. That's MJF's move.
No, it's not. Stop.
Okay.
Anyway, Deonna Purrazzo, the viewer to Milo. Anyway.
It's not as pretty as Deanna's, that's for sure.
No.
That's fair.
Gentlemen, all right, we are going to bid you adieu for 5 minutes. John the Connie, the minute you came back in, I'm like, this timing's awful. Now I got to kick him right back off again. But you know what? Go, guys. Say hello to your loved ones. Grab some groceries. We're going to get a lot better looking as we on the screen. As we know, the icon, Gary Mehaffy, is back with us. Gary, top of the evening to you, my laddie.
Hey, evening, and it's good to be here on episode 60 when we've finally caught up with John Smith's age, and I think that's probably why he's not here. I think it's his pension he's lifting, and his senior citizen centre he's down at, so, you know.
The ironic thing is, John Smith's the youngest one out of all of us. like, by far, too. Like, we're not. He's a solid 5 years behind me, and I think I might, Ryan's probably caught the middle. But yeah, so Garrett, how are things going today? As I missed you last week, Ryan had you batting leadoff. That was a nice little surprise when I tuned in.
Yeah, it was good. The demos come in, we all looked very good, so it was.
That's it.
That's why we're all early again this week.
You gotta get something. Yeah, you gotta get those numbers. No matter how you get them, you gotta get those numbers. Great triple threat match last Thursday, Garrett. Absolutely unbelievable. The funny thing is, this whole thing was centered to make sure that we had a winner between Rampage Brown and Joe Coffey. So you know what? Screw it. Let Dragon on win.
Yeah, I mean we've said it before. A lot of NXT UK, a lot of their big matches can be big moves, whatever. But again, this was three big boys. The main event scene here is big boys having big boy matches, and the three of these guys just beat the tar out of each other for a long time. And I was surprised that there's part of me. We did talk last week and said that probably Dragunov was the one who had the match with Walter furthest time ago, so I suppose that would be the freshest match in inverted commas, but any of the three of them who won would have been brilliant. You've got Rampage. Joe has got himself into actually a lot even better shape again. I noticed at this set of tapings. Mm-hmm. He's really getting into really good shape, but it's a really good match, lots of big moves, and then finally with Torpedo Moscow, should I say, at the end, it was an unbelievable match.
Yeah, it was a springboard off the middle turnbuckle, and big win for Dragunov. He's happy. Here comes the champ. Here comes Walter. Decided to congratulate him with a slap in the face and then choking him out. So
yeah, I know.
Walter being Walter, right? Like
I almost expected it to kind of have Dragunov passing out and Walter just kind of slowly patting his face as if to say, "There. We all know who the champ is. It's okay.
Exactly.
Life's okay."
Joe Coffey's brother Mark was in action in the beginning. Poor Shaw Samuels. Now, Garrett, Shaw Samuels, like, can a guy just be left in peace to gamble? Like, he's not bothering anybody. He's just sitting there. Maybe he just picks, I guess the internet hasn't hit over in England. ProWrestlingPick'em.com on paper, or betting on the horses, or whatever he's doing. The poor guy's getting just harassed for doing nothing. What's up with Mark Coffey?
That's it. Sitting backstage doing his horse racing picks, I would say.
And then Mark Coffey's gonna come out. I guess Jedi mind tricks him, as Ryan would say, into a match, and then Mark Coffey got the win with the jumping sidekick into a leaping elbow. So it was another. Yeah. I just don't get why everyone's picking on him, Gary.
No, I mean it was nice to see it, and I've said before, it is good to see Shah there and getting a bit of a chance, but we'll see we'll see how we go, but.
Yeah, I say as long as Sean, whatever. Sean's fun. He's a fun guy. I say I'm just glad somebody's over there. He's got the gift. He's got the hat for it. He's got he's got the right look as a guy who I think that guy's betting on horses. I know exactly.
He's a very good talker. Like I've seen him. He was at a show over here in Belfast, and afterwards for the ICW guys had like a wee question and answer session. When you just let him talk, I mean he doesn't stop talking, but he is absolutely brilliant. Like he just goes on in the stories. I mean, in a good way. It's just like story. Like he is actually really, really good. He's just him. Now, obviously on TV, it's him turned up to 11. But
yeah. I like Shah. Shah was a little iffy on him in the beginning with the whole East thing. I still don't get the whole East thing. I still don't get it. But he's hanging around with Noam, and now he's doing the horse thing. It's been a lot of fun. Teal Man defeated Oliver Carter with the crossface. Ashton Smith, nowhere to be found. He's off doing families. I'm bringing up family a lot with this. So I don't know where they're going, but, Teal Man's bringing up, but it wasn't even him that brought up the family. It was the announcer, like, well, Ashton Smith's with his family. So there's a lot of family talk going on around this. But then after the match, Teal Man, being the D-hole that he is, put the crossface on again. Here comes Rohan Raja. Wow, didn't see that one coming.
No, I know, and it does actually make me wonder when you said about the family stuff. I was watching it, thinking, "What is this?" And I thought, "I wonder is it going to be like a cult leader sort of thing, and they'll call themselves kind of the family, if you know what I mean, and he'll lead them, but he'll take them all through." But no, yeah, because we talked before about Rohan Raja coming in and how like decent fanfare and coming in from across the states, then hadn't really done much of anything. And I think it's good for him. So aligning him, I think, with Teal Man will be good, and it gives again a new edge to it. And so all of a sudden you are wondering, why is this happening? And as you say, where it's going with the other two as well, with Oliver Carter and so on. So it'll be interesting where.
Yeah, but think about this, guy. I'm going to say, if you intentionally broke my arm, I'm not going to come back and help you, Karl. Like, that's why I'm wondering where.
I'm trying to think what
heads here. Like that.
What's the name?
Destroying the guy that broke his arm.
It's like, what's the name? Like, that syndrome. You know, the people who get kidnapped and fall in love with their kidnappers and stuff like that. It's like one of those sort of oh, you broke my arm. It's tough love. Oh, thank you for showing me how I needed to have my arm broken. So you know.
We got a question coming in, Gar, coming in hot. Minutes to bell time. I don't know who's running the site because Ryan's got to be on air. I'm sure it's not him. Minoru Suzuki going to be on NXT UK. We just saw a picture with him and his girlfriend. Apparently, we'll just get right to it. Yeah, Satomura, the NXT UK Women's Champion. They apparently appear to be dating, and she is going to be on the UK brand this Thursday as well. The first appearance with the championship.
Could you imagine Minoru Suzuki and Walter hitting the ring together? Good as grief. So that when I saw the photograph, that was actually the first thing I thought was they might bring him in just for like a match, just for like if they're able to. If he's moving across permanently, you know, stranger things have happened. Yeah. But I would say there's a fairly good chance we'll see him.
So
if I was a bet man, like Shasta,
she interrupted someone's training session to do her own, and then Ginny came over to the first. Who is this first girl, Garrett? Because
all I can tell, I know she's Mila Schmidt, and I know she's from France. That's about as much as I know. I was trying to find out, and I think I was reading she had a tryout a year or two ago. I haven't seen very much of her because as soon as it happened, I had to rewind it back and go, who? What?
Yeah, and then I don't know. I remember that face. Let's put it that way. I like it. So, so we got a new fresh name coming. It was a Mila Schmidt.
Yeah. And actually, the good thing is, without sounding daft, when they brought her in and just kind of threw her name in and went, well, you've been here for a couple of weeks, how's it going? All of a sudden I was like, who? What? And I could imagine everybody who was watching went, who is this? And so all of a sudden, everybody's done the same thing and searched her out. So now she's gone from, oh, I'm new, to kind of like, boom, up because everybody's looking for her. So
yeah, and Jenny talks some trash to her too. So that might be the first little taste of action she got. But I know Jenny's got backup right now, so it might not be a good thing to go after your first step into the ring. You might want to go someone like Jack Stars or somebody first. We'll get to Jack in a second, actually. Speaking of females, new to NXT UK, Stevie Turner. She got a win over In Action with Liv Morgan's new finishing maneuver with whatever that flatliner off the middle rope, which I think is Stevie Turner.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. I say she came in with a lot of fanfare, and it was nice actually. Nigel McGuinness and commentary talking about Hana Kimura and stuff as well, because Stevie obviously knew her from being across in Japan, and I think Stevie needs a little bit more time in the ring. Personally, I think just to get her speed up a little bit when she's wrestling some more. But I think is absolutely one for the future, and it says it was good to see her get the win. And again, the one thing we've said before, as with everything in NXT UK, there's a point. So the fact that she's now won a match, there's a point here. They're going to move. You know that it's not just, we'll put those two girls in the ring and she can beat Laura. That's fine. Yeah. You know, there's a reason to what's happening. So you know something's coming down the line here. So.
It is funny how you use the phrase, she's the future, okay? Because She's gonna take people to the fourth dimension. She had a very futuristic. Okay, here's a joke I was gonna try to do before. She looked a lot like the way Max Moon used to dress. Is she the descendant of Max Moon here? Are we seeing a little moon?
That's it. Well, there's probably several jokes I could crack there, but I'm not going to crack any jokes about moons. But no, hey,
there you go. That one took me a second. Very good, Gary.
But yeah, no. As you said, it is the very futuristic 4D. So we'll see how she goes with them. We'll know if she has a jetpack and comes out to the ring with a jetpack. We'll know that she's Max Moon Volume 2.
Did you know Max Moon was Conan? I never knew that.
Yeah.
Like a year ago. I never knew that. So yeah, we go Conan. Yeah, Conan and Max Moon on the same show. Again, we have another new woman. So we have this new girl from backstage. You got Stevie Turner in her first match. Blair Davenport apparently signed the contract. Any light on Blair Davenport, Karen?
It looks to the betting man like it's B. Priestley.
Okay.
Seems to be obviously the rumor, because when it happened again, I was like, Blair Davenport, who? And I looked back and I couldn't obviously make anything out, but everybody, the whole chat seems to be B, and that it seems to be that she. Everybody thought that she was always going to be on her way in at some point whenever she left Japan, and this looks as if that's going to be her new name. So.
That is absolutely incredible how you guys can determine that's B. Priestley just by the signature of her ring name. That is absolutely – you guys are good. You guys are good. That's good.
That's what these glasses are. These glasses aren't just to make me look intelligent. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Mine are, but they never fool anybody. We got two matches to pick here, Gary, going into this Thursday, NXT UK. Jordan Devlin, A-Kid – I guess A-Kid was in Jordan's locker room 2 weeks ago after the Supernova sessions. They are going to get at it. You know, Jordan said anyone wants to step up. A-Kid said, sure, why not? So both these guys now, like I said, they're post-championship runs right now. This is Jordan Devlin's had a couple, I wouldn't call them inaction matches. I know he fought the Muppet from Saxon Huxley, the big Muppet monster. But this is the first time we're seeing A-Kid since losing the Heritage Cup.
Yeah, so, I am going to go out on a limb and take a risk. I'm going to say that A-Kid's going to take it. That they're going to start like a thing with Jordan where he maybe lose one or two and get a little bit better and then get more of an edge again and then climb back up. So I'm going to go A-Kid, and then this will lead to another match down the line between the two of them.
Okay, I'm going to go Jordan Devlin. I'm going to go with a cheap win here. No particular reason why. I think, but I can totally see where you're coming from. And this is the conversation I had a little bit ago. I'm going to bring up again when we talk about Raw with Bobby Lashley. Is that Jordan Devlin may be getting a little too comfortable now, and that's not going to result into wins for Jordan Devlin. So I don't pick against Jordan, even though I did a takeover and I was right. But that's it's a different circumstance. I'm not going to bet against Jordan. Over UK. And speaking of the Heritage Cup, we actually have our first championship title defense for Tyler Bate. He chose Jack Stars as his first opponent. Nobody, I guess, has Jack Stars' work ethic, and then they had this whole video package about how Jack Stars he tried out for WWE umpteenth times. And he finally made it. And now after turning into NXT's resident, NXT UK's resident punching bag, he's now getting some recognition going forward. Unfortunately, just lost, I think, a girl that he was in love with, even though she probably didn't know it. But Jackie Boy's gotten a shot here. Are we going to witness history here, Garrett? And not in history as in a new champion. I'm talking history as in, like, the first ever two-round match. This is going to be a sweep. Like Tyler Driver done.
Yeah.
Like
it could be. I mean, I wasn't sure at first whether Tyler was going to be underneath the wing of if Jack Stars was going to be underneath the wing of Tyler, and whether it was going to be instead of Jedi Master Yoda, we were going to have Jedi Master Bate, and I wasn't quite sure whether or not it would be Jack Stars doing that. But I think, again, with seeing his girlfriend or his poor love has now moved to America, I think we might see Jack Stars lose, as you say, quite quickly. He'd be competitive, but quite quickly, and then start to get either frustrated and have a little. We could have a Jack Starr's heel turn.
Yeah.
Coming here, I think coming out of it like the bitter, give me my due, I deserve to have my go type of thing, and kind of beat up Tyler Bate after it. So that's what I think we'll go with.
What round you're thinking? What round is this going to end? I'm going to
I think 3.
3? Okay,
I think it'll be 2-0. I think it'll be 2 straight falls. Like, but.
For those of you who do not speak soccer, or speak football, nil means 0. I got 2-0. I got a 2-0 sweep too. I don't think Jackie's gonna. But the problem is, if Jack Starrs turns heel, the first guy he's supposed to face is Jack Starrs. What is he gonna do?
I know he'll have to fight Levi Muir instead.
There you go.
Yeah. See, thank you, John. There we go.
There you go. That's it. You gotta have the joke for us, and if anyone else laughs with us, that's watching. Ryan, I'm sorry, Gary. Thank you so much once again for joining us. We will. Anything else before you go? Anything?
No, I'd say.
Actually, I do have a question. Something. Okay, so riddle me this. Okay, not Matt Riddle, but the Batman riddle. Or riddle me this. So we can't have an NXT UK takeover in Dublin because of travel bans, but WWE can do a tour over there in September.
I know.
What the hell's going on over there, Gary? Get a grip on your kingdom.
I couldn't understand because I knew WWE were doing it, and then all I heard was 4-day tour. I was like, what? That confused me. If that's the case, there's bound to be a takeover coming soon.
Yeah, but if you can't get from England to Ireland without getting in trouble, how are you going to go across an entire ocean and be like, oh no, it's just Vince McMahon? So hopefully this will begin the beginnings of some type of get the crowd back to the UK. We miss that crowd. I do. So Gary, thank you so much again for joining us, staying up late where you are. We appreciate you as always.
No problem.
Have yourself a great night.
See you later.
So we're going to bring back in Ryan Joy from minutestobelltime.com, Dark Order member number 59, along with the first ever PWB champion, John DeConnie. All right, let's get that back up here. So we're going to switch from the UK version of NXT to our beloved stateside version, my favorite. I'm with John Smith on this one. I'm not going to make that hidden at all. I am an NXT guy. I just put up the wrong thing. Ryan Joy, nobody gets Roddy Strong for Diamond Mine, but here comes Diamond Mine after an amazing contest between Kyle O'Reilly and Kushida.
Yeah, exactly. The whole Kyle O'Reilly Kushida match. I mean, O'Reilly won with a roll-up, but that's not the story. The story is Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. They fought to the back, and Roderick Strong appears in the ring, and not to face off against his former Undisputed Era people where he has unresolved issues. No, he's going after Kushida, and he's got backup in the form of the Diamond Mine, which consists of Malcolm Bivens, Tyler Rust, and 2 baseball players, right?
Yes, thank you. Yes.
Hideki Suzuki.
Hideki Ichiro Matsui Suzuki.
Right. I have to take your word on that. But Hideki Suzuki, who is a Japanese wrestler who didn't really spend any big quantity of time in any one promotion. So he's not extraordinarily well known in that regard. But here he is, a coach and now a member of the Diamond Mine. So.
Yeah, and it's a great start taking your first name and your last name after the two, it's not even the Yankees, right? The 2 greatest Japanese baseball players on the history of the planet. I'm going to take this guy's first name, this guy's last name. All right, you're off to a great start in the United States, let me tell you.
And the poor target is Kushida, who walks to the ring. The first thing he does is throw a baseball. Right?
Yeah, he's a baseball fan. Yeah, that's
So
he's also paying Back to the Future.
It's a good thing that they've put Roddy Strong in this cruiserweight division because they certainly unloaded the rest of the division on Friday.
Yeah, I was with, you know what the funny thing was, on the Daily Wrestling News Show, when you rattled off all those releases and then you went through the 205 Live roster, you came up with the same guy I did because when I was taking guys off the rosters on ProWrestlingPick'em.com, the only guy left was Brian Kendrick.
Yeah, and he's not, he announced his retirement.
And he's done. He's not even wrestling anymore, so yeah. I say the squadouche on 205, which is whatever. It was a great run. I had a lot of fun with it in the beginning, and it just.
Well, I'm really interested to see what they do this Friday, because they have good rights fees for 205 Live from Hulu. So that show's not going anywhere.
Really?
So it'll be fun to see who they put on the show this week.
Okay. John DeConnie, we just mentioned Adam Cole. He jumped Kyle O'Reilly after the match. We thought he had left the arena after his match. Remember, the stipulation was, as per Commissioner Regal, that Cole and O'Reilly had to wrestle last week, and they could pick their own opponent, which is fine. O'Reilly picked Kushida, challenged himself. That's what good guys do. Cole went the other round, as all heels do. I don't want to fight anybody. But here it comes again. I guess we're talking. I think, is this guy the king of accepting open challenges now? Like, is this guy's entire gimmick?
Yeah, apparently Carmelo Hayes is all about invoking legendary catchphrases and answering open challenge. I don't know if either one of you gentlemen.
Who the hell is he to scream ruthless aggression? What the hell?
Who was John Cena to do it?
Nobody said it before him. Or it was Vince McMahon, right? That was it. Vince McMahon started it, but that was.
So I don't know if either one of you gentlemen are fans of the television show The Wire, but I immediately thought of the scene where Bunk walks into the room and he's in his sweatpants. He's got on a lacrosse sweatshirt, and one of the guys goes, "Lacrosse?" And he says, "What? A brother can't run with a stick?" Jim Brown was an All-American, lacrosse player at the University of Syracuse, and the only other African-American detective in the room goes, "Oh, you putting yourself beside Jim Brown?" That's exactly what I thought of. The Carmelo Hayes, you putting yourself beside John Cena, talking ruthless aggression. Well,
a long way to go. I like him; he's good, but he's got a long way to go before. It's almost as bad as what's his face doing the Undertaker, making fun of the Undertaker. Phantasmo.
Yeah. So, well, at least invoking the immortal words of John Cena was enough to convince Adam Cole to stick around, because he wanted nothing to do with this whole idea of wrestling that evening anyway. So the two of them tussled for about 12 and a half minutes, and Carmelo Hayes clearly can go. He put on a great match with Kushida. He put on another good match here, but in the end, it was a Panama Sunrise and a 1-2-3. And Cole, shortly thereafter, told us he was on his way out of the building, but liar, liar, pants on fire, as we found out later. He never is actually not in the building when he says he's not in the building.
Yep. Johnny Gargano and Austin Theory, they did an in-ring promo, as you want to call it that. They are going to be, the way are now going to be law-abiding citizens. No more hijinks, no more shenanigans. This is a different way. Here comes Pete Dunne and Oney Lorcan. Okay, whatever. Theory does a little bit of jaw jacking for the efforts, and his hand ends up getting Pete Dunne. That's why I just have it. It got done. His hand in quotations, and his hands were all taped up. They go to Commissioner Regal. Regal brought him a new pencil, by the way. That was very nice of them to say, this is the new Garganos. They didn't screw with Regal. They actually tried to make amends for the things that they did in the past. They wanted Regal to just sick Samoa Joe after Pete Dunne and Oney Lorcan just as a consequence. Instead, Regal booked the match, and Johnny Gargano got it done. He did it himself.
Yeah, because Theory kind of got taken out. He was over by the barricade, and they gave this one a good amount of time. This was a 14-plus minute match. And if you've ever seen a Johnny Gargano match that wasn't highly entertaining, then you've seen a match that I haven't, because Johnny was all over the place, and the ending sequence, he did a suicide dive out onto the floor into a swinging DDT on Dunn, kept him out of the way, coming back in, caught Lorcan with his head down, one final beat, 1, 2, 3. The man did not even lose his headband.
No. He did, I think, after on his way back up the ramp.
Yes, because earlier in the evening, as he was telling us about how the Way are now law-abiding citizens, et cetera, he opened that little soliloquy with, "There's new management around here. It's time for a new champion." Mm-hmm. And Johnny is exactly the kind of champion you need, because let's be honest, folks, I can out-wrestle Karrion Kross on my worst day. Well, that would come back to bite him in the ass, because as he was celebrating this victory over Dunn and Lorcan, he kind of rolled out of the ring and was backing up the ramp just in time to get crushed in the back of the skull by the champion, just kind of looked down at him, shrugged his shoulders, and headed back up to Scarlett and out of the arena.
You gotta keep carrying Cross's name out of your mouth. He's the guy. You say his name, he will appear. Like it's the craziest thing. It doesn't matter who it's with.
It does not take 3 times either.
Nope. Hit Row interrupted Bronson Reed's backstage interview. Looks like Swerve is going to be keeping his promise to us, setting his sights on the North American title. Then later on, he actually accompanied Top Dollar and Ashanti the Adonis to the ring, Ryan. Is this too soon to report on this? I know John Smith's not here. It's probably the best time to do it.
So Hit Row hit their combo slam and then a cutter, and then Everrise did not get up. So I think their new name is Never Rise.
I thought you were going to go with Ever Gone.
No, Forever Gone, Never Rise, whatever.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, it's people just lost their jobs.
They're seeking a new network for their podcast. So
that's probably that's the best thing that they have going, and that's something they can continue to do even without a WWE platform. So we will see Everrise again. They will continue to entertain us. They will be okay. Frankie Monet was seen backstage being chummy with Aaliyah and Jessie Camilla, and Robert Stone was left out of the conversation. Like, I don't know. And then here comes Frankie's vicious, rabid, slobbering wolf of a dog. That dog obviously doesn't like Robert Stone either. I don't know. He's from Jersey. How do you not like Robert Stone? The dogs love us. Anyway, Frankie Monet then defeated. She went on to it was an encore presentation of her world premiere. She defeated In Action with a glam slam, which Beth Phoenix actually seemed to be okay with. I don't know if you heard her on commentary. Like, you couldn't have picked a better move, So Beth Phoenix is happy that Frankie's using that move, the glam slam. So good for that. Cameron Grimes pulled up in his Rolls Royce and updated us that Ted DiBiase is doing well after being attacked by L.A. Knight. We heard from L.A. Knight as well. He was in I think it was poolside at his house, talking smack, got rid of the dead weight, which he was referring to Ted DiBiase. Cameron Grimes will be back in action this week. Probably going to be a win. I don't think they're going to throw any type of surprises. I don't know. Carmelo Hayes is going to come out and wrestle again. But even if it's Hayes, I think Grimy would get the win on that one. Anyone got any bold predictions here for Grimy?
Not really.
Oh, that is. Ryan Lee attacked Mercedes Martinez during a backstage interview where Jake Atlas came to her rescue before things escalated too badly. So they're going to do a mixed tag team match. We got Tian Shaw right there on the left, represented by Xia Li and Boa, against Mercedes Martinez and Jake Atlas. John the Count, who do you got?
I think you got to keep this Tian Shaw gimmick strong, and I think they'll go over.
I concur. Ryan Joy.
I'll make things interesting and say Boa takes the pin. He hasn't been wrestling much, so I think he might be a little rusty.
Okay, I'll bite on this one. What happens to him if he loses?
Well, he's probably going to get his butt kicked from Mei Ying. But I think I'll go so far as to say Boa takes a move from Mercedes Martinez that leads to the pin.
Wow, okay. Interesting. Okay, fine. We'll go Ryan Joy. And then probably most likely the main event they were promoting on WWE.com, and the only match that actually has significant stipulations heading into the Great American Bash next Tuesday night. We have a number one contenders triple threat team match with two dudettes with attitudettes going against Io Shirai and Zoe Stark, going against Shopper Moonheart. The winners get the way at the Great American Bash, Ryan Joy.
Boy, it's tough to pick, isn't it? It seems like Zoe Stark and Io Shirai were kind of thrown together, but at the same time, they have wrestled 2 matches together already. I think it's going to be Raquel and Dakota. I think we're going to be not necessarily looking for a champ, but we're going to have the opportunity to get one, and maybe that'll ultimately lead to a breakup between Shawn Michaels and Diesel.
Okay, John the Comment, Io Shirai, Zoe Stark, they defeated the Robert Stone brand with Io's moonsault on Jessie Camilla, then it turned into a complete bleep show after that with these 3 teams, along with The Way, and The Way kind of just like, the meme or whatever, Homer Simpson backing into
we'll let you folks sort it out. We're out of here. Yeah, so I'm with Ryan on this one. I believe that it will be Raquel and Dakota because I think it's a more compelling story to tell down the line. But Io and Zoe will be a team to be reckoned with. Should that tag titles leave the way.
That's what I'm going. I got Io and Zoe. I think this whole thing, Io Shirai just came back. I mean, I don't think they're. I mean, Zoe Stark's she's taken L's, in the past. It's not like she's not like pin proof or anything, but. I'm gonna go with Io Shirai getting the pin on Ember Moon. How about that?
Okay.
I'll take that. I know. I'm gonna keep. Well, Raquel's not getting pinned. I think we all can agree on. Well, you guys haven't been winning.
Certainly not. Yeah.
I mean, I guess then we're in agreement that Dakota's not gonna get pinned either because she's great, so she's not gonna get pinned. All right, that will do it. Like I said, they're actually going to have a face-to-face tonight as well between MSK and Thatcher and Ciampa before their tag team championship match next week at the Great American Bash. We will be making our picks next week to episode 61. John Smith will be back for that. Ryan Joy, I believe you're going to be off, but we will make sure to get your picks on air if you choose to deliver to them us in time. Switching gears to Impact, they own Thursday nights now. Oh, I love that song.
As long as that
is that the best opening theme in wrestling today? Is Impact?
I think so.
Yeah,
but they don't own the night if Dark Side of the Ring's on because Dark Side of the Ring gets like 4 times as many viewers.
Speaking of tag team championships, hey, nice segues. Tag team championship match. Look at that. Sometimes things they just the segues just do themselves. Tag team championship match main evented last Thursday night on Impact. John DeConnie. Violence by Design again. Freebird rule again. Now we had Rhino sit this one out. Doring got back in there.
Yeah, exactly. We had the Diener and Doring pairing for Violent by Design going against Kojima and Eddie Edwards. And this one was a very Japanese-feeling match. There was a lot, you got Eddie can wrestle that style. Obviously, it's Kojima's ballpark, and Doring also very much in that style. And that's exactly what we got. We got quite a slobber knocker. This one went 23, almost 24 minutes. We had an interesting moment where Diener hit the diving headbutt on Eddie, only got a 2 count out of it, and good God, if you're not going to finish a match with that, there's no point in doing it. I hate seeing that move even attempted, quite frankly, anymore. But eventually it would come down to Eddie trying for that Boston Knee Party. Doring caught him, used his momentum to scoop him straight up, spun around a couple times into that Revolution Bomb for the 1, 2, 3, and Violent by Design retain the Impact Tag Team Championships.
Yes, they do.
By design.
By design.
Yeah, they won it by design. Ryan, speaking of the Fujiwara armbar.
Is that's your lead in? Okay.
Yeah, my lead in. I know there was more to it. You were the one that picked this match.
Absolutely. So I picked this match, and I picked this match correctly because last week when I was hosting the show with the Johns and the John, they both said Su Zin was going to win this match, and I was giving them credit, thinking, okay, well maybe Su Young will make an appearance, maybe Susan will, go into the, with whatever Urkel used to turn into Stefan, but that did not happen here. So Deonna Purrazzo wrestled only Susan. Susan has no wins. Susan still has no wins.
There you go. Good Family Matters reference.
There you go.
Yeah, John DeConnie, you can't explain yourself picking against Jersey. Against the Jersey girl. She's the best one we got right now. She's been champion for a year now, over a year.
But it was non-title. It was not title. So I figure, she just broke up with her 2 best buddies there, Kimber and Susan. There's nobody left in the Knockouts division for her to fight. So I thought, you get a roll-up, and okay, now she fights Susan at the next pay-per-view or Plus special.
Deonna Purrazzo defeated Susan with her Fujiwara armbar. She called Kimber and Susan losers and trash post-match. Rightly so. # Jersey Strong. Wow. John DeConnie staying in the Knockouts division. Rosemary got one up on the champs.
She sure did. Yeah, she was fighting Kiera Hogan. And she had, Tasha, of course, was out there to talk. Well, eventually
Havoc.
Loki?
I'm sorry, do you watch Loki? That was Owen Wilson. They had talk.
So Havoc would make her way to ringside to kind of keep Tasha in check, and that would help out Rosemary, who would eventually grab Kiera, lock her in that wing clipper, a.k.a. the as above, so below, and she would get the 1-2-3 victory in just under 8 minutes.
That's what the name is?
Apparently.
As above, so below?
Yeah.
All right. Let that marinate. Let that grow on me after a couple of weeks.
It's a literary reference. I just
thought that was what a maneuver. That was one of those. What a maneuver!
That's your move.
Yeah, exactly. Demolition's finishing move. There it is.
Don't get on Rosemary's bad side, Al.
I'm not getting on Rosemary's bad side.
You don't
the
need
last time I saw someone get on Rosemary's bad side, her name was Sexy Star. We haven't seen her since. So you know what? I'm not about to get on Rosemary's bad side. Rachel Ellering, she went out. She had some things she wanted to say to Jordan. Rachel wants to be a team. Jordan wants to do things on her own. And then Jazz even came out, and she kind of threw it all on Jordan, in my opinion. I don't know if you guys caught that. She kind of put this all on Jordan. Jordan needs some time to think about all of this, and when she does, I get the feeling that Miss Ellering is going to be receiving the beatdown that Jordan has been waiting to give her, and Jazz better watch out as well, in my opinion. Agreed. Meanwhile, here comes Teal Dashwood. She wasn't eavesdropping or anything. She probably just happened to be passing by the entrance ramp. Saw Rachel out there. And said Jordan wants something to do with it. They should be partners. It was a hard no from Rachel. So she challenged Tenille to a rematch, and that's going to be this Thursday night. We got Tenille Dashwood against Rachel Ellering, John DeConnie.
Give me Rachel in this. I'm sure Caleb with a K will be out there to make it as difficult as possible. But, give me Rachel going over in this one.
See, that's the thing. So Tenille's got Caleb with a K. Jordan's probably still going to be thinking, right? Rachel's going to be on an island right there. With all due respect, Rachel Ellering is great. When I say this, I'm not trying to put down Rachel Ellering, but women who are better than Rachel Ellering cannot beat Tenille Dashwood, let alone with Caleb with a K on the outside. So I am taking Tenille. And they said even if Jordan does interfere, it's not going to be she's not helping. Brian?
Yeah, I think for some of the reasons you said, I'll go Tenille Dashwood. I think spotlight kick here in the end. And maybe this is where Jordan comes out and makes her decision, which is going to be. Which is not going to be good for Rachel.
Above all else, it's a Tenille Dashwood match. I just hope we see the Dashwood. What'd you think of Sam Beal? This is the first time we've seen Sam Beal, Ryan, under the tutelage of the most professional wrestler, Brian Myers. How do you think he's doing right now?
Well, we've seen Sam Beal before, but not wrestling under the tutelage of Brian Myers. He didn't do so great. He took a black hole slam, 2 minutes and 27 seconds. Brian Myers finished off this by saying, "Don't be like Jake." I don't understand. Don't be like Jake and win matches. I don't understand.
Yeah. He was taking notes though. I don't know if you saw his notepad was with him the entire time. He was taking notes as he was going along. He's willing to learn, and I guess that's Myers will give him a couple passes here and there. Eventually, that's going to get old though. I think.
Yeah.
There's a conversation at Swingers Palace last week that's going to turn into a tag team challenge this Thursday night. It is going to be between Falaba and TJP going against Rich Swann and Willie Mack. This is the first time in a very long time that Willie Mack and Rich Swann have teamed together. They have, I don't think they've won the tag titles in the past, but I know they've challenged for them. Ryan Joy, any recollection on that?
Yeah, January 2020, they were supposed to be in a tag team title program, but then that's when Rich Swann got injured at, I think it was called Bash at the Brew or something like that. They had a January special, and that's where Rich Swann got injured, and so he was out. And so then Willie Mack went for the tag titles by himself in a handicap match and lost. So as far as I know, they've never won the championships. TJP and Falaba, they've teamed together more recently, I guess, but it still hasn't been a very consistent teaming basis. I'll pick Rich Swann and Willie Mack just because I feel like Willie Mack needs to get going with something, and Rich Swann is a former champion, and I don't feel like TJP and Fallah Bahh are going to be facing off against Violent by Design. So that's what I think. Willie Mack and Rich Swann in this one.
This is a tough call, John DeConnie. I want to go against Ryan there, but that makes complete sense. I think no matter who wins this, it's going to make complete sense. It's not like we're picking,
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there is, but obviously, but I don't think no matter which way to decide to go, I think we're good.
Yeah, I'm not going to be stunned either way, but I'm going to pick Willie Mack and Rich Swann alongside Ryan because, dear God, Willie Mack needs a win.
Sure does. Charity case, poor guy.
But he's loss proof. It doesn't matter how many times the guy leaves. You hear that money-making music, you're getting up for Willie Mack, and they're going to put it in drive with Rich Swann. I love it when he does that.
The funny thing is he was like undefeated for the first half of 2020, and then that guy just went. He hasn't won a match since, I don't think.
And then we started the Essential Wrestling podcast, and it completely fell off the plan. Like we could have been missed if we just started on time when we were supposed to start. We would have been in the heyday of Willie Mack. And we just caught the tail end of it. That's like I'm going to go with TJP and Fallah Bahh. I think that they're going to be the team. I think they're not to take the title, but they are. I think TJP's done with the X division at this point and go back to a tag team. Fallah Bahh was homeless without him. I think now TJP feels a little bit of responsibility because of that. He was he was a swingerella. I think TJP. I think he's going to take some ownership over Bahh, make sure Bahh's on the straight and narrow. That's what good friends do. So I'm going to go with TJP. Fallah Bahh, and a loss is not going to hurt Swann or Mack in this. Any chance? Like I said, these are good guys versus good guys here. Any chance? Morrissey is the only guy I can think that would come out and just completely wreck shop on all four of these guys. I mean, I can see that happening too.
Yeah, that's a distinct possibility. That's that. I think that was the thing that was keeping me most, from being confident in Willie Mack and Swann, because he can just come out and decide he wants to take both of their heads off, and then TJP and Fallah can get some, they could just be collateral damage.
I feel like if Morrissey comes out, he's not going to leave anybody standing.
No, not. And I want to see some kind of devastating power maneuver on Fallah Bahh. Like, I want to see the straight up. Willie Mack is going to be impressive, but if you can do something that's like completely just manhandle Fallah Bahh, that would be impressive. So I want to see that out of this new Morrissey. Cass couldn't do it. I want to see Morrissey do it. I think Morrissey can.
Can't teach that.
No. Rohit Raju and Mahabala Shira, they defeated Petey Williams and Trey Miguel after Petey got distracted by Ace Salt and Madman Fulton observing, not interfering. They were just observing. The match from ringside, allowing Rohit to hit the drive-by. Post-match attack temporarily thwarted by Josh Alexander, but then the numbers game caught up with him. There was a backstage interview where Chris Bay is kind of just playing Switzerland. He doesn't want to get involved with any of this. He just wants the X Division title. But Petey Williams kind of told him, like, dude, you're going to have to make a decision. And what Chris Bay did at the end of that match to not get involved and help Josh Alexander, Petey Williams, and Trey Miguel, Chris Bay, by not making a decision, he made his decision. Yeah, there you go. He was filming it on his phone. So this week we got Chris Bay is going to face Petey Williams. Petey warned him. And now Chris Bay, he's going to face the consequences here, Ryan Joy?
No, I don't think so. I think Chris Bay wins this match, mainly because I think Chris Bay is a young guy that they're pushing. They've got a lot of momentum behind him. Petey Williams is sort of not that kind of guy. So I think Chris Bay takes this one, and he may be my pick at Slammiversary. I haven't decided yet.
That's such a crapshoot, that Ultimate X match. John DeConnie, who do you got in this one?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Bay here as well. I think this match is going to be fantastic for starters, but I think in the end, Bay gets it done.
Yeah, I guess you kind of have to go Chris Bay on this one. Yeah, I can't defend Petey on it. I had Petey winning at the number one contenders.
If I had to defend Petey Williams, he can do a Canadian Destroyer on anybody.
Yeah. But he's been doing the flip one off the second turnbuckle, and it's still not getting done. It's just I don't know. I think Madman and Ace, they'll be floating around again. They're just trying to annoy everybody in this Ultimate X match. So I got a funny feeling they're going to get involved as well. But yeah, I'll go Chris Bay. Don Callis wasn't on the list to get in the Skyway studio at the beginning of the show last week. He went off and he went in anyways, I guess, as a company of the champs, Kenny Omega. Tommy Dreamer was asked by Anthem Sports to stay on as an advisory consultant role to Scott D'Amore, and Scott really was not a fan of this, so the plot thickens with those two. Callis went to Tommy backstage, no hard feelings. We know about Tommy firing him the week before. But then before Tommy goes corporate, he wants to give him the one thing that Tommy's always wanted, and that is a match with Kenny Omega. So Callis he's got Kenny Omega and he's got the Good Brothers. He told Dreamer to make a team, and Dreamer didn't put himself on the team, John McConney. Like, I thought this whole thing was so that Tommy could wrestle Kenny.
This confused the hell out of me because when Moose comes walking by, Tommy, he pulls Sammy in, he gets Sammy to agree to it. Moose comes walking by, decides he's in too. And I'm like, okay. And I'm taking notes, and I've got Sammy Callahan, Moose, and Tommy Dreamer. And then they turn to each other, and Dreamer goes, do you think we should tell him who the third guy is? I'm like, what do you mean, Tommy? What do you mean the third guy? And apparently the third guy is Chris Sabin.
Yeah, it's going to be Chris Sabin, and the reason why they want to keep that for Moose is because they're going to go at it at Slammiversary after what Moose did to Sabin a little bit ago after he hurt James Storm, then he hurt Chris Sabin. So there was that's just a mess in itself. So this is what we got for Team Dreamer. We got Sammy, Sabin, and Moose, and then we got the Bullet Club going for Team Callis here. So, John DeCon, who do you got in this one? I don't get it. We'll move past it.
I want to say one of the Good Brothers will take a pinfall here and, to make us all feel good about the Bullet Club taking a loss. But I see Sabin and Moose eventually going after each other and leaving Sammy hanging out to dry here. So give me the Bullet Club.
Yeah, I'm going to go Bullet Club as well. John DeCon, can you I don't think we're going to violate any copyright or trademark infringements here. Can you do Sammy Callahan's music again? Ryan Joy, who do you got?
Yeah, for largely the same reasons that John said. I feel like this is going to be Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers taking a win here. If not, maybe Moose gets a ahead of Karl Anderson and gets a win or something. But I think the more likely scenario is that match ends with Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers on top.
Correct. I guess now with that, John DeCon, he said something, and I kind of laughed a little bit. Said one of the Good Brothers is going to take a pin. Ryan Joy, do you know when the last time Doc Gallows took a pin?
Oh, he's well protected. I have to admit, he's well protected.
It's always Karl Anderson, right? Like it's not like you say one of the Good Brothers. It's always Karl Anderson. It's not. He could have the hottest Asian wife of all time, and he's going to.
Which is unfortunate because I think Karl is probably the better wrestler of the two. Just Doc Gallows is a big guy, and once again, like I said earlier, you can't teach that.
I really hope he doesn't come back. That just reminded me of the Enzo. Okay, so going. This is one guy is saying, okay, you want to see me upset? There you go. And the fact that he's from Jersey kills me even more. So going from Impact to last night on Monday Night Raw, again, as we said in the opening intro, Riddle put in his bid, his nomination for BFF of the Year, Bro Friend Forever, to Randy Orton because circumstances beyond, I guess, anybody's control. Randy Orton could not appear on Raw last night. He had a note, I guess he wrote Riddle and Riddle to deliver to Postman Pierce and Sonya Deville. John DeConte, you can go from there. It was fun.
Yeah, I'm going to date myself with this, but Riddle tried to weasel his way directly into the triple threat. He wound up getting into the Battle Royal instead, but he tried to do it by basically presenting a note from Epstein's mom. Yes. I mean, ridiculous, but hilarious nonetheless.
Yes.
So Riddle winds up in the Battle Royal. He winds up in the Final Four along with Jeff Hardy, Cedric, and Damian Priest. Along the way, Omos would yank who was not in the match, would yank the Viking Raiders out to keep the heat going between them and the tag champs. So we're down to Hardy, Cedric, Priest, and Riddle. Cedric manages to eliminate Hardy, talks a little bit of smack, and while he's doing it, catches a boot from Damian Priest, and he gets tossed out. Now we're down to Riddle and Priest. They battle around. Priest winds up on the apron, catches a final flash knee to the chops. Riddle wins. Riddle is into the triple threat later on in the evening.
But it's not Riddle.
That's a good point, sir, because he is becoming the Legend Killer. At the end of the match, he makes sure that they play Randy's music so he can hit Randy's corner pose.
Yes.
And also noteworthy in the middle of that match was 3 changes of the 24/7 title from Tozawa to Gulak to Truth back to Tozawa. But all that leads into the main event of the evening with the last chance triple threat Money in the Bank qualifier between Drew McIntyre, Riddle, and AJ Styles, which, as you can imagine, the match went more than almost 27 minutes. It was fantastic because look at the talent you've got in that match. Riddle would wind up kicking, I believe, the ring posts, the ring steps. Excuse me.
Yeah.
He was devastatingly hurt. He was helped to the back by multiple referees as he was, lamenting, "I can't let Randy down," as he's being helped to the back. So he's gone for almost the last 5 minutes of the match, but playing the role of Willis Reed once again. He comes limping back right at the end, gets himself in the middle of it. He counters the phenomenal forearm with a high knee. He hits the RKO, but Omos pulls AJ to safety.
Yep.
Just in time for Riddle to stand up, turn around, and eat a Claymore. And now we have Drew McIntyre in the Money in the Bank ladder match.
Yeah, he's the 4th qualifier from Raw. So the Raw side on both the men's and the women's is set. It's complete.
Yep.
SmackDown has one, and we'll get to SmackDown in a second. They only named one each. But yeah, the Raw side is complete. Valiant effort by Riddle. I think Randy is going to be happy. I don't even in a losing effort. If Randy wanted it bad, he should have showed up. But I think Riddle did the right thing. I think Priest approached Riddle earlier in the night, earlier before that match. He's like, just make sure Randy realizes he's lucky to have a friend like you. So I was like, oh, that's right. Aww.
That is my favorite Riddle thing every week.
The other thing to note here is now Riddle and Drew are 1-1 because Riddle beat Drew to get in the match himself.
Yeah, so we didn't have. I wasn't on the show last week, but they didn't. I mean, we didn't have. Or 2 weeks ago, I was, but they didn't announce the qualifiers.
No.
We got all 3 of those wrong. I was wrong on all 3 of those. I can't imagine anybody picking all 3 of those, hit the parlay, with McIntyre, Orton, and Styles all losing against Morrison, Ricochet, and Riddle. Like that was a crazy setup right there. Like, oh my God.
You hit that parlay, you're hanging out with Cameron Grimes this weekend.
Exactly. Right. Maggie May probably hit the parlay, but that's not it. That's really. I think she would have got that. But that's. Ryan, we have dripstick warfare on Monday Night Raw last night. It was out of control. $5,000 suit ruin. Let's just be fair. Miz and Morrison should be the only ones with dripsticks. That's the only fair thing that I can come up with.
Yeah, you're right. Ricochet stole one. He used his own dripstick on Morrison and then turned it on Miz. That probably set them down a bad path to start the match and everything. But you know what? Listen, I am not a huge fan of DQ finishes or count-out finishes or any of that non-finish crap. But this was a very good double count-out finish. Ricochet springboard cross body over the barricade to the ground. If there were fans there, they would have killed 4 of them.
Yep.
And neither one of them made it back to the ring in time. So that's how that John Morrison and Ricochet match ended. Incredible. It just reminds me that while Nikki Cross is dressing like a superhero, Ricochet is still a superhero, in fact.
Yeah, what's Nikki's? Yeah, we'll get to Nikki in a little bit to hear what her initials are. But yeah, it's Ricochet with the springboard on America's Most Wanted. Those 2 absolutely killed me.
Moist Wanted, not Moist Wanted.
No, as I said, America's Most Wanted. Oh God, yeah, but yeah, there's a double count out you can't complain about. And I'm watching that. I'm like, just stay down. Like, I'm good. I'm good with that. This is how this ends. I'm completely okay with that. There was a 6-woman tag team match, John DeConnie, and if they were ever to start a female version of Legacy, we found the 3.
Yes. Beforehand, we've got Charlotte, Natty, and Tamina commiserating about the weight on their shoulders of carrying on those legacies of their fathers, and they would go on to defeat Rhea, Mandy, and Dana. When Charlotte blindly tagged herself in, Mandy did not realize it, and she turned around and walked right into a big old flare boot in the chops and a 1-2-3. Then afterwards, Rhea would get a little bit of would deliver a little comeuppance for Charlotte by chop blocking her from behind, which always looks nasty. Thank God it doesn't look like it was troublesome, but that would just add more fuel to that fire for these two coming at Money in the Bank.
And she just set herself up to punch out of the figure 8. Like, she can, if she can hurt Charlotte's leg, that's how she's getting out of it. That this is setting up. She just set up herself to win that match. So, spoiler.
Is that your pick? Is that your pick, Al?
That is my pick.
Okay.
Eva Marie defeated Asuka and Naomi. I gotta tell you guys, the motivational and inspirational techniques to improve Doudrop's in-ring performance, that was brilliant last night on Eva Marie. Absolutely brilliant. Teaching the lesson, like, listen, you got to do things this way. It's absolutely well done. Huge win for Eva Marie. And we're moving forward after this whole Money in the Bank debacle. I'm sure she'll still find a way in and win the briefcase, or maybe beat somebody for the briefcase afterwards so she doesn't have to get involved in the ladder match. That's probably the safest thing to do. But absolutely amazing showing last night. Again, Eva Marie, good job. Brian, back to Nikki Cross. You mentioned Nikki Cross already. Almost a superhero, right? Nikki Ash, is she going to keep that?
Almost a superhero. I think so. I think that's going to be her deal now. So
yep.
She got a win over Shayna Baszler. Look, Nikki Cross, she's beat everybody on the roster this year. She has, and some of them before she went through her transformation, but afterwards now she's got this win over Shayna Baszler. We saw a little bit more of Shayna Baszler's character. Apparently when she's nervous or has things on her mind, she shuffles a deck of cards. We learned that about her in the backstage area, but Alexa Bliss came out partway through the Nikki Cross and Shayna Baszler match. I don't even know if that caused any distraction or anything. Nikki used a Mahi straw cradle to get the win here, but in the back of my mind, I got to believe Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss, while they don't appear to be on the same side of good and evil, it sure feels like they're both benefiting from each other an awful lot.
Yeah, and that didn't end well with those two. Former 2-time tag team champions. That didn't end well. That was at the very beginning after Alexa got possessed by the Fiend. Is he around? Anyway, but I'm just laughing because I believe this is now the 17th consecutive week where Shayna Baszler was pinned by Mahi straw cradle. So I believe we're just going to change that name to Shayna's Kryptonite or something like that. Just whatever. It's it. And again, the Raw roll-up. I saw something on Facebook or whatever. What's wrong with the roll-ups? Here's the fun thing about this. This is where it's actually working in their favor, because every time when I'm watching Raw or even a pay-per-view now, a WWE pay-per-view, I see a roll-up, I think the match is over. Like, I'm like, oh my God, kick out. I think that's like, so it's actually working in the. I think there's actually a hidden, subliminal thing that they're doing here.
Maybe so, but you're right a lot of times when you think the match is over.
Yeah, I know, right? But then it's just like you see like a title match, and you see your favorite wrestler or whatever, they see him get rolled up, and you're like, oh, come on, kick, and you're hitting the B button, in a fake controller, and then thank God they kick out. But it's funny how that's just that's how it always ends, at least, or whatever, 50% of the time, or whatever it is.
It's true. When Drew McIntyre beat Riddle in the main event, I thought he hit that Claymore. Oh, the match can't end on a Claymore. We need a roll up.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of a 9-roll, we go Jackson Ryker and Elias. Ryker defeated Elias in the strap match with the Boss Man Slam. They did a pretty good job whipping each other. That was good. Good old Allman Brothers were in my head the entire time. Time to whip you home.
I could just hear Kevin Nash singing.
There it is. I was like, well, there's a trivia question, like who sang that? The Rey Mysterio. And then we had some strong banter between Kofi Kingston and MVP. And Kofi reiterated my points when picking Hell in the Cell a couple weeks ago. The question I had for you guys when we were making those picks is Lashley losing his focus? And Kofi brought it out. Kofi just threw it out there. You're more concerned with days off. You're more concerned with the girls. You're more concerned with the suits and the whatever, the this and the that. And is, you know. So Kofi, I guess, apparently listening to the show. Kofi, thank you for listening. We appreciate it. We also saw that Bobby Lashley has been losing his focus, but that will be at Money in the Bank where Kofi is going to get his championship match. We do have a match advertised for next week. Apparently, Xavier Woods, he got crushed once. Sure, let's go for it again. Right? I mean, what do we, John DeConnie, like, it's almost like when I just talked to Gary Mehaffy. You know, Rohan Raja, the guy broke your arm. Why are you going back to him?
Just, Xavier, stay down, bro. Just stay down.
Just stay away from him. Like, that's...
I don't get
blood
it.
for punishment, I guess.
Apparently. Yeah, give me Bobby in this match. I mean, I'm sure there could be some kind of, you know, the cage isn't going to be down, so there could be some wacky way he rolls him up because Kofi and MVP distracted ringside. But I think in all likelihood it's going to be another severe beating by Lashley to try and teach Kofi a lesson leading up to their match.
There you go.
You know, I think the best case scenario for Xavier Woods, he should turn on Kofi. He should join the Hurt Business before the Hurt Business kills him.
Interesting.
And it would be Travis even said on the Daily Wrestling News show this morning, like, you know, Big E's got something, Kofi's got something. Kofi Kingston said it himself. Woods is kind of the guy who's left behind and forgotten all the time. Well, maybe Woods needs to step up and, you know, turn heel before, you know, the world ends on him.
Before it kills him.
Yeah, right. Shove that. Yeah, get that trombone. Get rid of Francesca. There you go. So that is the only match advertised for Raw. We're gonna shift gears to SmackDown. Layeth the smacketh down on your Rudy Poo candy ass. John DeConnie, Jimmy Uso finally got a hold of his brother Jay. Jay's been missing for about 2 weeks now. He's been gone for 2 weeks.
Yep.
Okay, so this begs the question. Jay said he's not coming back. So this begs the question, is Jimmy still hurt and Jay's playing both roles here?
Well, if so, they're doing a good job with the tattoo because Jimmy
Jimmy wants to prove that he can do what Jay did by being Roman's right-hand man, but he's nobody's bitch, John DeConnie.
Exactly. and And Roman just, you know, tells him, "All right, prove it."
But this is Jade Cargill being like, "I don't need a manager, but I want a manager." It's like, I'm not gonna be anybody's bitch, but I'll do exactly what you tell me to do.
Exactly.
You know, for the family. Like it's just.
And even more so, I'll take blind orders, having no idea what they mean, and I'll hang out outside the locker room till Paul comes out and go, "Paul, what the hell did he mean by that? What do I got to do here?" So that's exactly what happened. And Paul told him, well, you know, for starters, how about winning a match? So Jimmy went out and got himself a match against Dolph Ziggler. And he sold a back injury. He got lumped up. Jimmy got lumped up. He took a zigzag to the steel stairs outside. Yeah. So, you know, he sold that for the rest of the match. And it was a good one. I mean, you know, you get a match between Jimmy and Dolph, you know that's going to be quality. And Jimmy ended it with a super kick. Jimmy did get the victory. And he was very, very pleased with himself. Back up the ramp and passes by Roman and Gorilla, kind of like, you know, kind of waiting for his pat on the head or, you know, scratch behind the ears. And Roman all but looked at him. His music hit, and Roman headed out to the ring. So it's not always so much fun being the right-hand man. No. So Roman makes his way down the ring with Heyman. Heyman on the mic, because that's what Heyman does better than just about anybody in the business. and he lets us know that there is no one left to face Roman. And then, you think you know me. Edge's music hit. Edge hits the ring. Him and Roman brawl. Roman gets the upper hand for just a bit, grabs a chair, on his way back in, catches a spear from Edge. Now Edge sets up. He's getting ready for the concerto, so he needs another chair, heads back out. Jimmy makes the save, and that was just enough time for Roman to get up off the canvas and get the hell out of there. Edge held the ring at the end of the show, but Roman is, officially on notice.
Yeah, it was funny. His music hit, and I'm like, oh, I think I know Edge too. And I knew he was going to go right to the ring. No word said. Like, yes, man. You know me. John DeConnie, I'll stick with you on this one because that's how the show ended. Absolutely phenomenal ending. We're going to have Edge and Roman Reigns at Money in the Bank. But the show started probably just as hot, if not hotter. I mean, an absolutely amazing mixed tag team match with Bayley and Seth Rollins, who are now just that ding dong hello segment from 2 weeks ago was absolutely. I was laughing with them. I thought that was absolutely hysterical.
Yeah,
but going against Cesaro and Bianca Belair.
Yeah, so we start out with Bianca coming down to the ring, and I wasn't even sure if this was, if we were getting into the match here, because Bianca, takes the mic, which is never a good sign, and she starts putting herself over about how wonderful she is, what a bully Bayley is. Rollins interrupts. He comes down and says, "Oh, you better take it easy the way you talk about Bayley. She's getting ready to come out here and whoop your tail." Bayley comes out next. Bayley says, "Oh, what's going on here? I was just about to come out here and congratulate you after your last big win. Yep. We were going to bury the hatchet. The whole thing was going to be done. Now I'm offended." Cesaro comes out, a man of few words. He doesn't bother picking up the mic. Goes right after Rollins. Some fisticuffs are exchanged. We fade into commercial with the faces holding the ring. We come back out. The match is ready to start. We got Bayley and Seth versus Bianca and Cesaro. And we get a fantastic mixed 12-minute match. They're inside the ring. They're outside the ring. They're all over the place. And at one point, Cesaro and Rollins are outside the ring just as Bianca is setting Bayley up for the KOD. Rollins kind of scoots from one side of the ring to the other, and on his way through kind of bumps into Bianca, which allows Bayley to weasel her way out of the KOD. She hits the rose plant, and Seth and Bayley go over in this one.
It was funny in that beginning when it was just Seth and Bianca, and Seth was like, yeah, like we're both the winners. We both won. On Hell in a Cell. Yours was a fluke. I mean, you couldn't do it again if you tried. But yeah, we both won. It was such passive. It was great. Seth Rollins is growing on me a lot. And he actually went back to Postman Pierce after it was all said and done. He wants Roman Reigns. He wants the Universal title. And like I said, when Roman said there's nobody left, and I'm like, dude, Seth just said he wants to fight you. And then here comes Edge. It was fine. But I lost a lot of money, probably a lot of money on that one. Calling Seth. But then John DeConnie, I got my money back. Because apparently Mr. McMahon, hello, Mr. McMahon, how are you? Vince McMahon watches our show because after Shinsuke Nakamura's royal coronation, what name did they give him, John DeConnie?
Oh, you mean Kingsuke?
Kingsuke Nakamura. And who dubbed him that about a month ago?
It would be this guy. Oh, this guy.
There you go. That's what I say. It's all right. I let them use it. I didn't get around to trademarking it. They can use it. You don't have to give me credit. Just send me a car or something. Give me some flowers for my wife. That'd be great. Kingsuke Nakamura is now official. You're welcome, WWE Universe. Baron Corbin was watching in the back. He's lost. Like, he is so, like, is upset. He's not angry, upset. Like, he is, like, sad and miserable BJ Pavanka upset right now.
It was almost Shakespearean. Like, the best word for the look on his face was melancholy.
Yeah.
Like, he is beside himself. He does not know what to do.
And Ryan, to answer your question, I know you asked this, and the people listening, Baron. That's his first name. It wasn't a sign of royalty or a job title. His first name is Baron, so we are back to Baron Corbin.
I looked it up. It's actually like John or something like that.
Probably something like that. Yeah. Pretty sure Corbin wasn't on the back of his football leader jersey either when he was playing for the Cardinals. Carmella was announced by Sonya Deville, Brian, that Mella will be in the Money in the Bank ladder match based on merit. She is a 2-time winner. And just the way history has worked out, that briefcase is synonymous with her because she is the only one that hasn't cashed in on it immediately. She held it for about 10 months. Alexa Bliss cashed in immediately. Bayley cashed in immediately. And then Asuka the belt was in the briefcase, so she never had it. So Carmella's like synonymous. It's her briefcase. So, and being a 2-time winner, sure. So Mella is in based on merit. This did not go over well with Liv Morgan because, Jersey. She just gets pissed like that. And Sonya agrees because Sonya also from Jersey. She understands where Liv is coming from. So they fought about it, right?
Yeah, and Liv Morgan has more than one victory over Carmella now. She beat Carmella here. And based on what Sonya and Liv Morgan were talking about, Liv Morgan should be getting in the Money in the Bank ladder match now. But it's not on WWE.com/moneyinthebank. So I don't know what's going on here. But Liv Morgan, as far as I'm concerned, she's in this thing. And if she's not, I think, what happened to Otis is going to happen to Carmella if she wins that Money in the Bank match.
Yeah, I feel like Liv's a shoe. You got to think about this. So if you subtract Bianca Belair and you subtract Bayley, because if they're doing that match again, then those two are out, right?
Sasha.
Liv Morgan, Carmella, and Sasha Banks, and who else is even on the roster?
Yeah, it's going to have to be a return, right?
That's problematic.
Or is it a call-up? I don't know. We can play devil's advocate. I don't know. We're not devil's advocate. We can play a little. There's a guy I watch on YouTube. There's a show called Rogue Theory. We can do some Rogue Theories.
Well, they're scouting. Shotzi Blackheart and Scarlett have both been backstage at SmackDown. So you might be right. It might be a call-up. Becky Lynch was backstage at SmackDown a few weeks ago. Could be coming back. It'd be kind of an underwhelming return, I think, unless Brock Lesnar's the return. So, but
I don't think Scarlett's going to be wrestling in a ladder match. I remember Scarlett wrestling in Impact. It was more on the Lana side of the spectrum, just not as bad, but not like she's on that end.
This work she's doing with
everybody's ahead of Lana. Like it's not like
the work she's doing with Karrion Kross is her best work.
Yeah, and that's she's a valet for now. Like she can work. I'm sure she's working hard. She's in the gym, yada yada yada, just like Stratus did. But
I want to mention something though earlier because I didn't get a chance to comment on the Roman Reigns situation with Edge.
Go for it. We got some time. I'll go for it. Shoot.
So I've seen this before. I've seen this episode before where Edge gets a title shot. We got 2 weeks left, right? There's time for a wedge. There's time for Daniel Bryan to get involved in this match, right?
There is. There's definitely plenty of time for Daniel Bryan to get. You are 100% correct.
I've seen this before.
There you go. Money in the Bank qualifier. They had a match between Big E and Apollo Crews. Big E got the win with the big ending. So Big E is now in the ladder match. He's the 5th participant and the first from SmackDown to be named. So 3 more left on the SmackDown side. Like I said, we have time. We know one of them will be Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, as Fight Forever now goes to a last man standing match, as well as qualifying for Money in the Bank. Sammy, I believe the exact quote when Postman Pierce told him this was, "You're playing a very dangerous game with karma." Sami Zayn is 1-10 on the season, but that one win happens to be his last match at Hell in a Cell against Kevin Owens, Ryan Joy.
Yeah, and it was the only one win he's had over Kevin Owens in like 4 years of this intense rivalry. I don't think that Sammy should have gotten into a match against Kevin Owens, a last man standing match. I remember the last man standing match between Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns, which was only a little while ago, and Kevin pretty much had Roman dead to rights in that match. So Sami Zayn, Roman, I love Sami Zayn, but I don't think he's Roman Reigns level. Kevin Owens wins this match, heads to Money in the Bank. My thoughts.
Okay, so there's going to be a conspiracy in here somewhere, John McConney. Where is it?
It's simply in the fact that this match is even taking place. Sammy was, he was feeling positive for the first time in a long time with that win, and felt that not only should he not have to face Kevin again, he shouldn't even have to really get in the ladder match. The WWE would be better in general if they just handed him that Money in the Bank contract.
Yes.
So with all that being said, I think they will. I think this is exactly as we were saying with Ricochet and John Morrison, in the waning days of the Thunderdome, where they can take advantage of nobody being in the building and they can pull some shenanigans. I think KO and Sammy are going to put on a very wow matchup, but I think KO will be the one headed to Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I'll go with Sammy here. I'll take Sammy. Why not? I don't think
Sammy's the kind of guy who wins the last chance match. That's my
okay. I feel like if KO does win this, like Sammy's just gonna put himself in the ladder match, and like he's gonna get involved to make sure KO doesn't win.
Oh, yeah.
So I think Sammy will be in there regardless. I'm not to mention poor Sammy. He was the one 2 years ago. Talk about conspiracies. He didn't even get to the ring. Brock Lesnar jumped him backstage. That was the Money in the Bank I was at. I was all excited to hear Sami Zayn's music, and then here comes Brock Lesnar. I gotta put that picture on. When it comes down to making our Money in the Bank picks, I remind everybody that I celebrated with Bailey.
So you've seen this before.
I've seen this before, yeah. So hopefully we go give Sammy a chance here. I mean, Sammy with the Money in the Bank would be obnoxious. He'd never cash that in. And it'd be worse than the Miz. Like, it'd be like the Miz would always remember it was the one time he cashed in, but he kept on getting it back. Like Sammy would just break everything. No, I didn't hand it in within the 30-second time limit of the bell ringing on the fourth moon of the he would constantly get it back. I think that would be really funny. Okay, so we actually have some time. We'll give us a quick 4-minute discussion here. Ryan, Joy, you brought it up. Who are the other two guys on SmackDown, you think? Who are the other two spots that get filled by?
Aleister Black and Murphy.
Funny. You love people losing jobs, huh?
No, it's not funny at all. Shinsuke Nakamura, and probably Baron Corbin.
Oh, you're gonna throw that whole feud? Okay, John McConney.
Yeah, that literally would have been exactly my guess. I think Corbin definitely makes it in there, and why not have Kingsuke in there just to piss him off?
Otis got back in somehow.
Yeah, I can see that.
Make things interesting.
Although would they want to go down that road again? They didn't want him to have it, So.
But he's a heel now, so it would actually be funny. Like, it would actually piss people off, legitimately. Come on, man, I think Cornette would lose his mind. I think Cornette's head would explode if Otis was, let alone win it, be in it. But he won it again, Cornette's head would explode.
Cesaro and Seth Rollins too. I mean, they could both be in there, especially with what we were just talking about with Seth Rollins.
Yeah, that would make complete sense. Yeah, Seth won it before.
Heist of the century.
Yeah, there was a comedian. I guess he was talking about how much better wrestling was than basketball. I was I was watching the championship match at WrestleMania. You want to know who won the championship? The guy that wasn't in the match won the championship. Right. You can't do that in basketball. And I'm waiting for somebody to rip off their jersey and have the other teams under it and dunk on his own basket. So, all right, I think that'll do it. We'll end it tonight. We're gonna have a quick some time, a 15-minute break before NXT starts tonight. Should be a good one. I always look forward to NXT. I'm happy to get right into that. Tune in too. All right, do we have everything ready? Let's put the Eastern Observer logo right back up there. There we go. Tune in to the Prime Time Rundown. There we go. This is the new graphic powered by StreamYard with Joey Jarzenka, Ian Schreier, and Rob DeLuca. Now airing this summer up until August 30th at 7 p.m. on Monday nights as they take you to the wild world of sports right here on all of the Eastern Observer platforms. For more information, please go to theeasternobserver.com. tune in to the Daily Wrestling News Show every Monday through Thursday and sometimes Fridays at 10 a.m. to get your morning cup of joy with Ryan and his band of merry co-hosts. Also right here on all of the Eastern Observer platforms. The Daily Wrestling News Show, where we sort through all the
bullshit.
Malarkey. I like malarkey better. Clean it up, Ryan. Body Slam Brigade, over 44,000, right? 44,000 people subscribe to this weekly newsletter. Make sure you go to minutestobelltime.com to subscribe. The Body Slam Brigade, by Ryan, for you, for free. Apparently, I don't know if you guys saw on the Eastern Observer, I don't know if it was last night down in Atlantic City, or maybe it was 2 nights ago, the Black Cats NYC were in concert on Facebook Live. It was a lot of fun. They sounded great. Go pick up their new album, Free Cake, right now on all of these music providers. They are the official band of the Eastern Observer, the Black Cats NYC, and their new album, Free Cake. As always, the Essential Wrestling Podcast is sponsored by ProWrestlingPick'em.com, the internet leader in sports entertainment pick'em pools. Join us in the Essential Wrestling Podcast public pool to play against us or create a private pool with you and your friends at ProWrestlingPick'em.com. Play against your friends, play against the universe, and guys, she will like it too. And make sure you join us back here next week, episode 61. This is our futuristic WrestleMania episode, boys. This is our King Maxwell Hardy against Nash White, I believe, was the main event of WrestleMania 61. We got the new version of The Shield with Ru Rollins and what did Moxley name the baby? Damn it.
Nora,
right? Yeah, Nora Ambrose. There you go. Nora Ambrose and Ro Rollins. We got a huge Intercontinental Championship match with Madison Monroe and Bertie Danielson, I believe. That match was
no Liberty Road.
Making that. And that, I believe, will be it. John DeConnie, anything from your end before we go?
No, but you got to remind us which episode that was, because I gotta run down that card again. That bit I absolutely adored.
Yeah, I will make sure. I gotta start titling my. I gotta start ripping off. The Essential been ripping off the Daily Wrestling News Show. I gotta start titling my episodes. It's such easier to find. Brian Joy, anything from your end?
I really appreciate the bump in subscribers you gave me from 4,400 to 44,000 today. That was
I like that.
Really
yeah.
nice. No, nothing specific. Just catch us 10 a.m. tomorrow for the
Brian,
Daily Wrestling News Show.
This isn't the Daily Wrestling News Show. You don't have to sort through the malarkey on this show. It's 44,000. You don't have to sort through it. We cause the malarkey, Brian. That's the fun. Like, we're call all these theories, all this crap, all these.
I got a reputation to hold
more times than not. We are the malarkey. You have to sort through, Ryan.
I have a
John County, take us home.
Never let the truth get in the way of a good tagline. And thanks for joining us. And as always, we wish you the best in all your future endeavors.
Talk about ill times.
And everybody, when you're celebrating 4th of July this weekend, make sure you remember why you're celebrating. It's because people way back over 250 years ago didn't want to pay their taxes.